EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Music City. Welcome to Nashville, Tennessee, and Nissan Stadium on the shores of the Cumberland River. Straight ahead, we've got a good one on tap. It's the Cleveland Browns and the Tennessee Titans. Thanks for having us in, Mike Tirico, Greg Olson, set to get this one started. Off we go from Nashville. The return team gonna let... that one go. It'll go through the end zone. It's a touchback. Williams going to throw on the first play. He'll get this out to his running back. And he can't get away. They rally to the football defensively. Bring him down for no gain.
So, Mike, there's this idea that every time a defense blitzes, it has to result in a sack. But there's a lot of other ways that you can impact the play, and we see it here. Get the ball out of the quarterback's hand, get it to the check down, and now you just need to rally tackle and bring them down for a loss.
The man left side, it's caught. It'll be taken down, but it takes them across midfield down to the 40-yard line. It's a gain there of 26 yards. They'll come up 1st and 10 at the 40. Operating from the shotgun, it's Williams. And he's not going to get too far, tackled after a gain of just a yard.
So they have these rules for the receivers, Mike. They call them green grass rules, and the idea is if you're running across the field and you're looking at the quarterback, you're going to stay on the run. If you're not looking at the quarterback, that tells him, I'm going to sit in this soft zone, I'm going to what they call punch and pivot and stop, and that tells the quarterback to put the ball on your chest. That nonverbal communication between the receiver and the quarterback, recognizing when you're open, stay open, that's the stuff that makes a lot of these offenses so difficult to defend.
Second time they've hooked up on this drive. This one good for 12 and a first down. Williams to the air once more. Quick throw, taken in. And this takes him into the red zone. He's brought down inside the 20-yard line. That's a gain of 11. And they'll move the chains with another first down. We'll try to throw again. Here's Williams. He's got it at the 3. And he's in. Touchdown, Tennessee. Now Andres Borregales for the extra point. He's got it. And the Titans will take a 7-0 lead. So following the touchdown. Borregales is back to send this one away. This taken in at the 8-yard line. He'll be brought down right around the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
Go check. Here we go.
On the ground, that is Brashard Smith. And he'll get about 4 to the 29.
He's tackled at the 29-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup. 2nd and 6.
Here's a 2nd and 6.
Check, man. Let's go.
Smith again. Has an opening past the 40. And he's out of bounds up beyond the 45-yard line. 17 yards on that play. It's a Browns first down.
It's a gain of 17 yards. First down, Browns.
Ready up. 60 boxes. 40, 70. Ready up.
Here's Milroe to throw. And he can hang on through the contact. Incomplete. Good job defensively to meet him just as the ball was arriving. It'll bring up 2nd down.
I got high standards for offensive players, but in this case, Mike, I think I'm giving all the credit to the defender. He timed that one up perfectly, and what could have been an easy play ends up as an incomplete.
We'll try again. It's 2nd and 10. Off the play fake, here's Milroe. And this will be incomplete. Rutherford Burden, the intended target. And it's going to be 3rd down.
So this is what defenses want to do, Mike. They want to flush the quarterback to his non-dominant side. So here for this guy as a righty, they want to get him moving to his left to force these throws against his body. And it actually wasn't a bad ball. He's trying to give his guy a chance downfield, and they just can't connect.
So after back-to-back incompletions, it is now 3rd and 10.
19, 18. 79 Brush. 60 Maverick. 60 Maverick. 70 Ranger. 70 Ranger. 60 Bobcat. 60 Bobcat.
From the gun, it's Milroe. He's got a man. That's Felton. A fresh set of downs to work with. It is 1st down and 10. Again, it's Milroe. Short pass taken in by the tight end. And that keeps him ahead of schedule. That's a 1st down completion of 7 yards.
The drag route is such a good way to get the ball early into the hands of your tight end and take some pressure off the quarterback and give him an easy completion. The size and the athleticism allows them to try to pick up more yards, but do it after the catch.
From the 34-yard line, here's 2nd down and 2.
19 Wyatt. Cougar 19.
First run of the game here for Chase Brown. And he'll get nothing here. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all.
No gain on the play.
3rd and 2, now Milroe. Exiting the pocket right. Escaping the danger, throwing and completing. They hook up again. 2nd time on this drive. And this one's good for 18 yards and a 1st down.
Just a really good play design that time, Mike, from the offensive coordinator. They match up one of the most explosive playmakers in the NFL with a hook curl defender, and he's just not able to match up with one of the best route runners in the league.
So a big third down hookup takes us to the break. 7-0 is our score. We're back in Music City after this. Start of the second. Browns in control of the football. Ball down to the 16-yard line. And it's 1st and 10 as we are ready to get back underway. Now Milroe on 1st down. This one is pulled in. Are the feet in bounds? Yes. Touchdown Browns. Touchdown number 7 for him on the year. The extra point is good. And the Browns come right back to tie it at 7. Each team one possession, each team a score. 7-7 as they kick it off. Now return coming from the 7. And he's brought down right at the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
On 1st and 10, it's Williams. He'll look over the middle and find his running back. He'll get enough more here as he is taken down.
Brings up 2nd and 5. At the
From 29, here's 2nd down and 5. From the shotgun, it's Williams. Moving outside the pocket. He'll get rid of it and complete it. And he's taken down inside the opponent's 35. It's a big one for Tennessee. 38 yards. Here's 1st and 10.
Vegas! Yes! Punch Spurs!
Working out of the gun, here's Williams. Going right, it's taken in. And they will take him down at the 20-yard line. Remember, he had the touchdown on the opening drive, and here on drive 2, he gets a 1st down with that catch. Throw it again. It's Williams. Flush to his right. Got his man at the 6. And he's taken down, but they are in business. This sets up 1st and goal.
1st and goal at the 6-yard line.
Here's a run. Only a yard there. Tackle made at the 5. Here comes 2nd and goal.
It's a gain of a yard. Brings up 2nd and goal.
He's checking Craig.
They'll go with him again.
He does a nice job coming from his safety position, filling his run gap assignment. Keeps this to a modest gain at best.
1 yard on the play. It's now 3rd and goal.
2 minutes to play. First half, all tied at 7. We're back to Nashville. In a moment. Third and goal. They'll run. And this defense standing tall in the red zone. They stop it for no gain. And now it's fourth and goal. On now is Andres Borregales for the field goal try. This one is good. He knocks it through. And the Titans get 3 here late in the first half to take the lead.
Yeah, he does a nice job handling that kick there, but I think offensively, you come back to the sideline and you're thinking, we have to find a way to finish these drives. I mean, to be in first and goal and settle for 3, that can be very deflating for an offense settling for too many field goals.
And he'll bring it out to the 22-yard line. That's where the offense will take the field. They'll go play action with Milroe. He's going to take a shot down the field. And they're going to have this all the way down inside the 30-yard line. A big play to kick off this drive. And even 50 yards.
And it's hardly an exaggeration when I say, Mike, that he's probably one of the most difficult individual assignments in the entire league. It's like playing football against that really good kid in your neighborhood. He's just hard to cover, and plays like this, it just shows how special he can be.
That is caught out wide on the RPO. We'll try again here. Second and 10. Man in motion, heading right. On second down, here's Milroe. And he'll just bite the bullet and throw this one away. That was a good idea. Didn't force anything there. But now it's going to bring up third down.
All right, so the ball falls incomplete, but I think what it does now, Mike, is it allows you to stop the clock, get in the huddle, take a deep breath, and now your play caller has to give you the best play. Go get points here before the half and try to build something going into halftime.
On third down, Milroe. That is caught at the 3. And he's in. Todd Felton. Touchdown, Cleveland. His 4th TD grab of the season.
You know, Mike, at this level, not all touchdowns are created equal. There's some plays that result in touchdowns, and then there are touchdown strikes. And this one is the latter. I mean, you talk about a confidently thrown ball on the money downfield. It doesn't get a lot better than this, and his receiver is able to take it in for 6.
They didn't leave much time on the clock to put together a drive here at the end of the first half. And the kickoff's coming their way. This one taken at the 7. And he'll be brought down just beyond the 20. it's Williams. That one to the sideline and incomplete, and a penalty flag now comes in late. Maybe no receiver in the area on that one. On second down, it's Williams. Going downfield, right side, and it's caught. And he's out of bounds. Still short of the first down, but he got a good chunk of yardage back with that one.
This may look like a simple connection, Mike, just pitch and catch, but I can promise you the amount of time these two guys have spent together on the practice field, in the meeting rooms, just getting on the same page, seeing the game through the same set of eyes, it makes what's pretty difficult seem a lot easier.
The Titans will use the first of their timeouts to talk things over before third down. On third down, it's Williams from the gun. And that is incomplete. One final chance does not work out. Time has expired. The first half has come to an end. First half played out a bit as we expected. We'll see if there's a surprise coming up. Both teams set to go, and the second half is underway. Nice job by the return team as he takes it across the 30-yard line.
Come on, go.
He'll get this out to the left flat, and he's out of bounds, up close to the 45-yard line. They get 13 to begin the drive. It's a first down.
Every once in a while, it just comes down to you need somebody in the huddle to just make a play. And it wasn't a whole lot fancy here. The quarterback just dumps the ball down, a quick underneath completion, and then really it's the yards after catch that did the rest. And that's what it takes. You're not always going to have the perfect play. You're not always going to dial up the perfect play against the perfect look. Sometimes players need to make plays, and that was a good one there.
And he'll get about 5. Just shy of midfield. Here's second down. Once again, it's Smith. He'll push forward for about a yard. Brian Branch in on the tackle.
He's taken down at the 50-yard line. A gain of a yard on the play. Brings up 3rd and 4.
It's 3rd and 4. He'll get this out wide. He's going to have the first down. So they convert on third down with a pickup of 9.
This is a great example here of just not getting too complicated as an offensive coordinator. Who's one of your best players on the field, and how do you get the ball in his hands?
Ready,
First and 10.
19 tight, 19 tight, ready. 60 Maverick, 60 Maverick. Strap 50, strap 60. 18 Robert.
Out of the gun, it's Milrow. Room to maneuver at the 35. And he'll be taken down at the 25-yard line. Remember, he had the touchdown catch the last time they had the football. Here, he's got a first down.
You can see this connection is just starting really to pick up. They're seeing the game through the same set of eyes, and that is the job of the receiver. What is my quarterback expecting from me? Where does he want me? Be there on time, and it leads to big gains like this.
Ready.
He'll send the receiver in motion to the left. On first and 10, it's Milrow. He'll get this into the hands of his running back. He's going to be marked down at the 12-yard line.
First and 10 at the 12-yard line.
On first down here, it's Smith. And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's about all.
There's very few defenses in today's NFL, Mike, that you can play the cornerback position and be unwilling to tackle. Those days are kind of over, so give credit to this guy. I mean, he identified run, he understood his leverage and gap fit, and he's able to bring him down for no gain.
Milrow throwing on second down. Rolling to the left. That is Hodge. What a job on the scramble. Touchdown Browns. That's a 2-touchdown game for him. Numbers 7 and 8 for the season. The extra point up and good. And the Browns are out to a 21-10 lead. Both teams ready to go once more as the kick's away. Here comes a return from the 5. Good job in coverage. They're going to get him down short of the 20-yard line.
The Titans take over first and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
What is up? Yes, 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 yes. Yes, yes, yes. Go. Vegas. Punch first. Yes.
Williams going to look to throw it on first down. That one caught is Chimway DK. And he'll be taken down up around the 32-yard line.
And the Titans first down. First and 10 at the 32-yard line.
Punch first. Yes.
Here's Williams on first and 10. That's going to be intercepted. Picked by Benjamin Morrison. And his offense is going to be all set up with a short field and a chance to extend their lead.
I think anytime you find yourself trailing in the second half, Mike, all offensive play callers fight the urge to chase those points. They tend to get a little bit over-eager. They tend to push the envelope sometimes a little too far. Those turnovers, they only make the deficit grow, not shrink. Now, there's a lot of football left, Mike. They can still get back into this. They just have to be a little bit smarter about which risks you're willing to take.
Action made. It's Burton. He'll be taken down rather swiftly after a gain of just 3.
It's now second and 6 at the 40-yard line.
on the 40 now. Here's second down and 6. From the gun, it's Milroe. Going down the center of the field, open man, and it's taken in. And he's got another one. Touchdown, Cleveland. That is his 3rd touchdown of the game and his 9th for the year. And that is the hat trick. What a game. His 3rd touchdown reception of this one.
And nothing they've done to slow him down has worked, Mike. This defense, they're throwing multiple guys at him. They're playing man, they're playing zone. It doesn't matter. This guy is having his way, and he's having a day.
A return now from the 4. They'll get this up past the 20. That's where they'll set up shop.
At their own 21-yard line.
This drive starts at the 21. It's 1st and 10.
Vegas! 26! Volunteer! Vegas!
Operating from the shotgun, it's Williams. Forced to his right. Carrying that ball loosely, and it is out. The Browns have it.
Something these running back coaches preach all the time, Mike, is you can't sacrifice the ball for additional yardage, and I think we had a case of that going here. I love the effort. I love the fight, but it can't come at the expense of the ball. Everything in football is about protecting the ball itself, and in this case, just a little bit too loose with it. They're able to pop it loose, and that's a big turnover.
Seven Pirates!
Off the play fake, here's Milroe. The ball's out. One of his teammates there to take it back in.
And they should consider themselves lucky. You can't let a pass rusher through that quickly and not expect there to be consequences. Fortunately, they're at least able to fall on it and prevent this from being a complete disaster.
Work to do now as they come up on 2nd and long.
19 Lions. Viking Warriors 70. 18 Rodwood. 79 Broncos.
They go play action now with Milroe. That will make 3rd down a little more manageable. Good yardage gained on that one. So, 3 quarters now in the books. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Third and long.
60. Here we go. 19 Charger.
On play action, Milroe. That is hauled in at the 5. And he is out of bounds at the 4-yard line. About 19 yards on that one. They're in business. It's 1st and goal. A couple of big plays, one after the other, and now it's 1st and goal.
18 Pioneer.
Play action, it's Milroe. Out to his right. Oh, he feels the pressure, and he'll go down back at the 6.
That's a prototypical coverage sack. All 11 guys on the field doing their job. Starts with sound back-end coverage. Nowhere to go quick with the ball. The quarterback has no chance but to extend the play. Look for something late developing downfield. That was all the time this front needed to chase him down and bring him down for a sack. So anytime you decide to blitz, the hope is that the secondary can hold up long enough to allow the extra pressure guys to get to the quarterback. But when you don't get to the quarterback and he's able to get the ball on time and in rhythm, there are holes in the back end, and they're able to pick up the first down. So often we see quarterbacks get themselves in trouble when you move the pocket towards the sideline. It really takes away half of the field. So give credit. He doesn't try to throw back across his body, put the ball in harm's way. Just simply throws this ball out of bounds and looks for the next play. It's always a little bit of a letdown, Mike. You find yourself deep in the red zone and you have to settle for a short field goal like that. In this case, he's able to put it through, and they get 3.
This returnable from the 4. He's across the 20, taken down just shy of the 25.
Take over first and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
So here's a first and 10 now. They'll start from the 24.
What is up? What is going on? Hey, read our key, read our key. Vegas, Vegas. Yes. Tempo.
From the shotgun, it's Williams. A hit as he throws there. It's going to wind up incomplete. The pressure got to him that time, and it'll set up second down.
At the 24-yard line.
What is up?
Now a handoff, running right. And he'll take this up to the 30. Pick up the 5.
Yeah, so I think as you look back over the course of this game, it's really been the inability of this offense, Mike, to create any sort of balanced attack to get anything going. And whether you look at the rushing yards, whether you look at just the points scored, this offense has to find a way going forward to generate more big plays and more balance, both run and pass.
Vegas. Yes. Tempo.
Third and short yardage, and here's Williams. And that is incomplete.
Well, we sit up here all the time. We try to break down why certain plays work or don't work. Well, this one's not real tricky. I mean, he just simply needs to catch the ball. I mean, that close to the first down chain. If he just catches that ball and turns upfield, they extend this drive. He's got to come over to the sideline, take a deep breath, tell his guys, hey, man, that's on me. And he's got to go out and make that next play because his team's going to need him to play better as the rest of this game continues.
Put your hands on him. Yes.
Now or never, they'll throw on fourth down. Open man, right side. He's got it. And he's going to have a Titans first down. They'll have it by a lot. It turns out to be a big gainer on fourth down.
First and 10 at the 39-yard line.
Vegas. Yes.
Working out of the gun, here's Williams. Quick hitting slant there. And they're going to be set up in the red zone. They've got it inside the 15. Still get a first down at the 1. First and 10, they go from the 11. Williams to the air once more. He'll get this out to his running back. And good yardage there after the catch. They'll wind up with a gain of 7 on first down.
A 7-yard pickup brings up second and 3 at the 4-yard line.
Throw it again. It's Williams. Flush to his right. Just trying to avoid the rush there. He's hit as he threw, and the pass is incomplete.
If he's able to get the ball out of his hand on time, that's probably a completion, but there's a little hesitation for one reason or another, and by the time he lets it go, he has a defender bearing down on him and leads to an incompletion.
Throwing again, Williams. That one broken up in the end zone. It's incomplete. What great work to see those hands up there. And now it's fourth down.
Every so often, Mike, you can see these offenses, and it looks like the passing game gets a little bit too predictable. And as the defense continues to flood the back end of these zones with extra defenders, they're continuing to force this quarterback to not only make some difficult throws, but to put the ball in harm's way.
Vegas!
They'll indeed go. It's Williams. And he cannot get the throw off. He's going to be sacked. And they will turn it over on down.
You find yourself down big. It's the fourth quarter. There's really no choice but to go for this at this point. But once again, this defense, they're up to the task, and they come through yet again with a huge stop.
Panther 11. Ready? 60, 70, Timberwolves. 18, 5 in.
They send a receiver in motion left. On first down, it's Milroe. He's going to air this one out. That's to the sideline and intercepted. Picked off by Jerry Jones. And the Titans are in great shape here as they take over at their 46.
The Titans take over first and 10 at their own 46-yard line.
Throwing on first down, it's Williams. Going left side down the field, and it's complete. And he will score. Touchdown, Titans. That is second touchdown of the afternoon. Well, Greg, the light's still on way down at the end of the tunnel here. They are climbing back into this one with that touchdown here in the fourth quarter.
And they have a tall task ahead of them, Mike, but they have a chance. I mean, we've seen stranger things happen. They got a two-possession game here late. They're going to need a couple stops, and they're going to need a couple things to bounce their way.
To throw, it's Williams. That's pulled in, and they're able to tag on the two-point conversion.
Mike, I think all of us can remember exactly where we were during a certain Super Bowl where throwing the ball this close to the goal line ended up being a disaster. But unlike that time, they ran this pass play to perfection, and the result, 2 points.
The kickoff unit is out there, and they'll send this one away.
Late in the game, this is where you see teams really start taking some chances. And boy, this was a big one, but it's not going to work out.
Throwing now, Milroe on first down. On the run to the right. His throw on first down is going to be incomplete.
A rare miss for a quarterback that we've seen really come out on fire throughout this entire contest. I mean, his completion percentage, Mike, is well above league average, and frankly, it's really the biggest reason why they find themselves out in front.
2nd and 10.
Let's go now.
On the handoff, it's Smith. And he'll take this one in. Rashard Smith, touchdown Browns. His second rushing touchdown of the year.
19, here we go.
Browns will line up for the two-point conversion.
19 Lions. Trap 50. 18 Rattler. 7 Pirates.
From the shotgun, it's Milroe. And he will get in for the two. They open up the bag of tricks on the goal line and add a pair of points. The kickoff team is out on the field, and we're back to it as the kick's away. Now, here comes a return from the 9. And he'll be out of bounds on the return. And the drive will begin there. From the 25, they'll go to work. 1st and 10.
Ready, shot. Biggie, aim. Vegas, Vegas.
Williams. Throwing right. It's taken in. And he's out of bounds, but they're going to stop this inside the 25. So a big one there to start the drive. It covers 51 yards.
Ready, shot.
On 1st and 10, it's Williams. And he just does get that one away. He was being chased down, forced the awkward throw. Maybe he's fortunate that all it is an incompletion. Throwing on 2nd down. Williams gets it away quickly, and it's caught. And he's going to be brought down just outside the 10-yard line. So it took just 3 plays, but just like that, they have 1st and goal.
First down and goal to go.
They try to throw again. Here's Williams. To the end zone there, but it is incomplete.
This is one of those situations that plays directly into the hands of the defense because think, Mike, they know this offense has to be one-dimensional. This has to be a pass. So what do? They bring in extra defensive backs. They clog up the back end. And at the end of the day, there's just nowhere for the offense to go with the ball.
Vegas, Vegas! Punch first, punch first, punch first, punch first!
Williams to throw on 2nd down. This one caught it before. And he's so close to the goal line. Couldn't get that ball extended. They keep him out, and it sets up 3rd and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And this is going to be a touchdown. It's too little too late. They do get a bit closer as they score here in the final minute of play. The offense staying put. They will go for 2.
The Titans will line up for the 2-point conversion.
Vegas, Vegas! Punch first, punch first!
They'll drop to throw. That is caught. And they get the 2-point conversion.
Makes the score Browns 39, Titans 26.
This one not quite over, but down a couple scores. We're going to get an onside kick. The kickoff unit is out there, and they'll send this one away.
Well, we knew, Mike, this was going to take a miracle. All they needed to do was recover this, score, recover another one, score again. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen, and this game's all but over.
Dragon 60! Let's go now! Viking 18, 70 Ranger, 70 Ranger!
Slot man gonna move in motion left. They'll throw on 1st down with Milroe. He'll let it go deep left sideline. Well covered on the sideline, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Darian Jones. This is 1st and 10.
At their own 5-yard line.
Vegas, Vegas! Punch first, punch first! Yes, 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 yes! Yes, yes, yes! Tempo, tempo!
Operating from the shotgun, it's Williams. That's complete to DK. The Titans will use the first of their timeouts. Clock will stop with 35 seconds to go.
2nd and 2 at the 12-yard line.
They'll come up now for 2nd down.
Vegas, Vegas! Punch first, punch first! Punch first! Punch first! Yes, yes! Yes, yes! Yes, yes, yes! Tempo, tempo! Hey, volunteer, volunteer, volunteer!
To throw is Williams. Under pressure, and he'll go down. They got him. This is 3rd and 6.
A loss of 4 yards. It's now 3rd and 6.
On 3rd down, it's Williams from the gun. That is incomplete. Here we go. They're down to what could be their final play. It's 4th down.
So this is where it gets really challenging as an offense. You find yourself trailing late in the game. The defense can play you one-dimensional. They know it's a pass-first situation, so extra defensive backs, the zones and the coverage are a little bit tighter and cloudier, and he's having a hard time finding any open windows downfield.
Yes, yes! Yes, yes!
They're going for it. Here's Williams. He dives, and what a catch for the 1st down. And we'll get whistles and a timeout, so they will stop the clock. Closing seconds, game decided, but timeout anyway.
Yes, yes, yes! Vegas, Vegas! Punch first, punch first! Punch first! Yes, yes! Yes, yes! Yes, yes, yes! Tempo, tempo!
Here's Williams on 1st and 10. To the right side here, pass is caught. And he's out of bounds, up close to the 45-yard line. His 5th catch of the afternoon. Good for a 1st down. Here's 1st and 10.
Punch first! Punch first! Punch! Yes, yes! Yes, yes! Yes, yes, yes! Vegas, Vegas! Punch first! Yes, yes! Yes, yes! Slam left! Slam left!
Here we go. One final play. Now he'll air one out. He's got it. And he's going to go out of bounds with no time